Hey, shalawam, shalawam. I want to start off by giving all praise to YAHAWAH, by SHAM, YAHAWASHI, by SHAM, QADASH, call loyum, La YAHAWAH, by SHAM, YAHAWASHI, by SHAM, QADASH, Shanya Kabak, Awala Rakab, Zaquanium now by Ith, Wa, Shalawam, Wa Barakim, Wa, Chasad, Al, Barakim, Shal, Yasharahla. Now, this video, I just wanted to name it, understanding why we say Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Hashem QADASH will, or Lord's will, or RAWCHAA, or however brothers may say it. There's a reason why we say it, because we take certain precautions. Thus saith the scriptures. The scriptures, well, I'm going to just read this, and through the Spirit, it's going to be a very short video, but the message still has to be portrayed. This is James chapter 4, verse 13. Yeah, so good. James chapter 4, verse 13. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city, and continue there for a year, and buy and sell, and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. And see, that's the point. For you to say, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, or we're gonna go, I'm gonna go to the store, or I'm gonna get this job, without considering Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua's will, is a form of sin. You know, our whole life, our whole destiny is built off the Most High's will. Our whole structure is built off the Most High's will, because it's whatever the Lord allows and not what we want, but more so the Most High, and that's why the scriptures compared us to. It said, for what is your life? Meaning, what are you? Who are you to say that? Who are you to tell the Lord what you're gonna do? That's what James was basically insinuating. He was saying, who are you to basically esteem yourself as the Lord and say what you're going to do? Now, that goes into another topic too. Everything's predestinated. So that's why we say, if it's the Most High's will, that he'll destine me to do that. Now, it says, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. Yes, it is a vapor that appeareth for a little time. And even though you may live 60, 70 years, even 80, 90 years, because Jake ain't living past 90. I firmly believe that. Jake ain't living past 90. But it's but a little time to the Most High, It's but a short, minute time to the Most High, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Hashem QADASH. Now it says, it is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, right? Because you know how you have the morning dew, or you have the vapor within the after you take a shower. That vapor is there for a little time, but then as soon as you open the door, the vapor vanishes, man. The same as us. We ain't shit. It's basically trying to show you the low estate that we are compared to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We have but a little bit of power when it comes to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem QADASH. Salaki, I'm going to let these people pass. Yeah, but we have but a little bit of power when it comes to the Most High, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem QADASH, Or we have no power, because he's the author of all things, It says, it then vanisheth away. Verse 15. In James chapter 4, it says, for we ought to say, meaning ought, meaning what we better say, you know. You ought to do this. If you're ought to do something, meaning it's something you need to take a precaution in. It's something you really, really must do, you know. It's a commandment. What we ought to do, you know. We're ought to keep the laws. We're ought to pray to the Most High. We're ought to reverence Him. We're ought to put Him in the, first. So what it says, for ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. See, if the Lord will, meaning if the Lord will allow it, you know, and that's the spirit. I meant to look up the word will, but you could basically say if the Lord will let, that pass, or if the Lord will allow it, that's the main synonym I can really think of as of right now. If the Lord will allow you to do that, then I'll do it. That's why every time, we say, hey, I don't want RAWCHAA, see you next Saturday. Or I don't want RAWCHAA, see you Thursday. I don't want RAWCHAA, see you then, I see you that. I don't want RAWCHAA, we'll get there. I don't want RAWCHAA this, I don't want RAWCHAA that. Because Adawan means Lord, RAWCHAA means will. And that's basically, this is a precaution. This is more of a commandment of us, what we ought to be doing. Because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You saying, yeah, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Hey, chances are you may get into a car accident. Chances are you may encounter any problem. And that springs up another thing. That's why the scriptures tell you to pray without ceasing. Because saying, I don't want RAWCHAA is a form of prayer. That's a form of reverence. To pray is to glorify, to reverence, to give power to, and that's exactly what we do, consistent saying, Lord will. That's the main reason why we say it. So, this is Romans. This is Romans chapter 8. Verse 30, it says, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom, I started a little bit higher. 29, it says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because pre, meaning before, destinate, meaning to have set out. If you're destinated to do something, or if your destiny is what you're gonna become or what you will fulfill. Now, everything's predestinated. That's why we ask the Lord, I don't want RAWCHAA, if this be your will, allow me to do this. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. Because the Lord has a different plan. The Lord has a different plan opposed to ours. Let me bring this out. There's Isaiah chapter 55, verse. Okay, 55, verse 8. It says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, saith YAHAWAH. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and so are my thoughts higher than your thoughts. See? So basically, that's why we say Lord's will, because we know He has a better plan for us. We know He's the man who created all of us. He created our thoughts. He created everything. So that's why we say I don't want RAWCHAA. His thoughts, and like I said, sometimes it'll come to pass, sometimes it won't. The reason why is because hey, you know what? And that's the spirit, because there's the reason why. Because it's going to say it later on in the Romans. It says, no, that's not. But Salaki, the scripture is all things work together for the good to them that fear the Lord. But that was basically, I thought that was in Romans, but I guess it's not. But the matter of the fact is the Lord's will is going to be fulfilled regardless. That's why we say I don't want RAWCHAA, So we don't boast in ourselves or have, because you basically saying what you're going to do is a form of pride. And we know that pride was not made for men, you know. So when you say Lord's will, it's considering the Most High first, if it be his will, you know. And it's very imperative that we say that, you know. That's what we ought to do. It's a commandment, you know. So that's the understanding of why we say Lord's will, you know. With that, I want to give all praises to Yahawah by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem QADASH, call haloyim la Yahawah by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem QADASH, call barakim al Yahawah by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem QADASH, shani kabah gawala rakab zakoyim now ba'aith, wa shalawam wa barakim la bakarim shal yasharahla, wa shalawam wa kasad, Salaki. Bakarim shal yasharahla. Shalawam. You know, with that, I want the point that I mainly wanted to insinuate was that us saying Lord's will is not a joke. That's something we ought to be doing. That's something we need to be meditating on consistently, because the Lord didn't have to do a lot of things that he's doing for us, and we're grateful for the things that he has performed for us and has done for us, you know, through his will. So don't leave the house, you know, don't speak of what you're going to do of your own self. Speak of what you're going to do according to the Lord's will. Always consider the Lord in all your things, because, not to get too much deeper, you know, but the first goes to the Lord. Everything that's first goes to the Lord. So your first thought should be the Lord, and consider what he wants you to do and not what you think you're going to do. You know, that's why we ought to say Lord's will, you know. But with that, I'm going to say shalawam.